Hey everyone, welcome to this beautiful new moon in Leo card reading. I'm really excited to bring this to you today. And if you haven't been here before, my name is Erin. I'm really happy that you're here. Welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. And I cannot wait to get started. So I say, let's go. All right. New moon in Leo, August 8th, 2021. 8-8. 8-8. All right. Let's do this. All right, so we have a new moon in Leo coming on August 8th, 2021. So let's see what the overall moon energy is. I know we're having a Leo moment here, but let's just see what the moon card has to say for us today. Can't make it up, folks. Can't make it up. New moon in Leo, confidence is your key to success. So there you have that. Confidence is your key to success for sure. You are most definitely going to need your confidence because there are going to be, now I'm not an astrologer, but I do listen because I think it's important, some planets that are going to get a little funky. I think it's Saturn and Uranus, don't quote me, that are going to be presenting us with some uncertainty, some challenges, and it's going to be like out of the blue, like wham, bam, boom. So you definitely are going to need to have that confidence. So we want to be mindful of that. Now, this is nothing to be afraid of because, you know, shit always happens, right? Like there's always something going on. So just know that it's going to be fine. I know you're going to be able to work through it. So that's what's really standing out with me in that card is the confidence end of things. Because with this new moon in Leo, we're going to, and I'm going to look at my notes because like I said, not an astrologer, and I don't remember like I used to. I just have to say. So this new moon in Leo is going to be all about like, what do I desire? But on a level that is more like you really want, we're really going to be using some discernment here. Like what is aligning with how I want to feel in my heart? What do I really want to have, manifest, create, bring into fruition? And we're going to really want that to be our heart's desire. I'm going to pull an elemental card here too. So we're going to want to know what elemental energy, along with this new moon in Leo, what are we going to be working with in this lunar cycle? Outer core, fluidity. Okay, so this to me means that we have been working, so we're working a lot on ourselves, right? We want to know in our hearts, what do we truly want? Is that in alignment with us? Does it still serve us? Is that the truth? And this the fluidity of the outer core is what you have on the inside of you and what you're trying to bring into manifestation. Well, guess what? If that feeling that you have, right? The feeling that you want, that emotion that you have in your heart is going to start conveying, right? You're going to be planting seeds so that you're going to be planting your seeds of intention that begin with the emotion so that you can start to co-create your reality. So that is the outer, right? The outer core. And the fluidity part is telling me to just be mindful that, and I say it a lot here, and you know what? It's okay if we say it a lot because for me especially, I need to remind myself all the time. Everything doesn't come in a neat, tidy little package the way I want it to come. Like I don't get to get on Amazon and be like, hey, clickety click click, and this is how I want it, and da 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 da. And even that way, you still sometimes get some stuff, and it's like, what will happen here, right? So you don't always get exactly what you want to get, and you're going to just have to be fluid with that. So now we're going to ask a couple of questions because we were talking about the heart. Leo is all about the heart, right? Big heart, very big everything, right? Just going big. So now we're going to want to ask the question, what does our heart believe to be true, right? Where are we going to be working from? What emotion is in our heart that through this one, write down. So, oh, this is perfect. So this is like childlike, playing like a child, opening your heart, being cheerful, and just being in that place where you're loving life. So I love this for this new moon in Leo energy because it is Just remember how you felt the joy when you were a kid and you got to have, there was just when those times when there wasn't a care in the world and life was an adventure, right? So that's the kind of vibe we're going to be going for when you are opening your heart to see what's true. That's the emotion that you want to get. That's the feeling that you want to have when you ask this question, so that you're able to discern what is really true and what is not gonna cut it right now, right? Okay, so speaking of cutting it, let's talk about the ego, because very easy for our ego to get in the way, especially when our heart starts telling us what we really, really want to have, right? Because sometimes those fears come up and the ego wants to be like, nope, sorry, honey. I don't think so. You're going to have to think about this a little bit more. Or think again, because we're not going through da-da-da-da-da again, right? So what are we going to need to release when our ego starts interfering or challenging those beliefs that we have that are deep inside our heart that are going to bring us some real joy, right? Okay, it's the Fool. So what we're going to need to release here for me is saying that that adventure, right? The feeling of just taking that leap of faith, knowing that we do have the right answers within us. Our heart is telling us the truth. And if we're feeling that emotion of joy, if we're feeling excited about it, and we're getting that zest for life that starts coming back into us, and we really want to do something, then we're going to need to tell the ego that, you know what, if a fear comes up about having faith, that's what's really standing out to me, is that we just don't believe it to be true, right? Yeah, we want to have this feeling, but too many things have happened and we can't, or something got in my way before, and I'm at this point in my life now and I just don't see how I'm going to get out of that situation. So this is telling me that we need to have faith that all will be provided for us, and if we allow that emotion to come out into the world, right, through our outer core here, right, if we let that come out to our outer core, then we're going to be able to plant that emotion, right? That is what's going to be planted. And even though we can't see exactly how that is going to come to us, at least we know that that emotion's there, and whatever comes is going to eventually lead us to have that feeling that we really want. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. When we're talking about releasing these blocks, we're also going to need to have some inner strength. And in order for us to have inner strength, I believe that we need to have self-love. We need to love ourselves. We need to be able to show ourselves kindness and have compassion for ourselves when these challenges come up and obstacles come up and old fears, beliefs, patterns, all of that stuff when it comes up, because it needs to be acknowledged. Like, it's there for a reason, right? It's there to protect us. It's not that our ego's just trying to be an asshole, it just wants us to be safe. So we're going to have to treat ourselves with love and kindness in order to access that inner strength. So we want to see where we need to love ourselves more so that we're able to create these emotions that we desire. Okay, the Emperor. So we need to love ourselves in a way that lets us have boundaries, lets us have structure. I love that the Emperor on this card is the lion. So I love that. So the place we need to love ourselves more is where we can create boundaries, right? For ourselves in a loving way that allows us to let those fears subside so that we can create those feelings of joy and that childlike curiosity, right? So that we can have that in our lives every single day, all right? I like, too, how even though we have some fiery cards and some kind of masculine energy coming out, I like that we still have this water element coming through too, that's allowing us to have that balance. And I think that's really going to be key, is to be able to balance the masculine and the feminine so that we're able to really discern what is going to be the best way for us to get the things that we need to do, the things that we need to do, right? So I love that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next question. And we were talking about inner strength. We're going to need our inner strength. So another thing that I think is really cool about this Leo new moon is that it's on the Lionsgate portal 8/8. So I'm not an expert on that either. And there's lots of information online. So just Google that if you're not exactly sure what that is. So, but basically it's like a portal that's supposed to open. It's already supposed to be open, but it's supposed to be, I guess, at its peak on the 8th when the new moon hits. So it's 8/8, which is double infinity, right? At some point we know that there are limitless possibilities out there. So this portal that's opening on 8/8 is acting as a way to just kind of give us a little extra oomph there. They're like, here you go. They're sprinkling some cosmic dust on there and throwing in a little bit of unicorn glitter, getting a little pixie magic, and they're just like, there you go. Please create something amazing for yourself. So I'm loving that. And then I think that can be used to help us gain like a new perspective on things. I think it's going to be really important for us to have, and even with this Fool card too, that also tells me that when we're starting something new, you're going to need to have a new perspective on that, right? You're going to have to open up a little bit, have an open heart, have an open mind, and be able to really have a new perspective on things. So I think that in terms of inner strength, we really need to see where can we find our inner strength when we need to have a new perspective so that we can release the things that are no longer serving us in order to create our desires, right? Or co-create our desires. So where are we going to find? Oh, right here. Oh, and we got two. Both flipped out, and I'm just going to keep them because that's what happened. Okay, and that's perfect. So we're going to be looking at balance. We're going to find the balance. And this card also talks about karma too, which this is a perfect time to be releasing karma from like past lives, because we know we now are not our past lives, right? So having a new perspective on that and understanding that that is the case, some of us may need to maybe at a place in our lives here and now where we can start releasing some of that old karma that's it's no longer valid. Just get rid of that so that you don't have to have that on your plate anymore. With that came the Seven of Air, and I think this is great too because this is talking about you're living life on your terms. You're not going along with the crowd, right? You are doing what you need to do to be your authentic self. And I think part of the reason is karma for this Justice card, but another reason for this card to come out is because even though you are, going to the beat of your own drum, you're trying to be your authentic self. That's a beautiful thing. But we also need to make sure that we're not alienating others, that we are still have our family, our groups, the people that we love, the people that we support us, and we don't want to be a jerk, right? Even though I'm trying to do things in my own way, I'm not trying to hurt anybody by that, right? Like, and this is another thing too with those, the boundary, the Emperor, the boundaries card will also help with that. And I love that. That's so good. It just felt kind of magical because it's the new moon and it's the Lionsgate portal and all of that. I had to break out my Starseed deck. I just had to. It's calling my name. So we're just going to get a card just to see if there's any other messages that we need to know about the new moon in Leo, August 8th, 2021, and the Lionsgate portal. Any other messages that we need to know that will help us to create what we need here. And we got two again. That's okay. Well, we got three. So we have fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites extremes of life. So you're definitely surrender, right? If you want to, when we're talking about the releasing of things, if you really don't like embrace that and just surrender it all to spirit, God, goddess, however you resonate, if you don't surrender all of that to your higher power, right, then some of it can still be swirling around a little bit. So this to me is talking about also having the feminine and the masculine like we were talking about, having that balance, and the justice card, having the balance through the extremes of life. Okay, and then the extremes of life are like the challenges that we have to go through, but we're here to grow. We're here to learn from our lessons, and you can't grow if you're not challenged. So this is a reminder of we need to surrender all of those hurts, that and the challenges and the obstacles and all of those feelings of doubt, anything that you need to release, right? Whatever's coming up for you, you need to be able to fully surrender that, knowing that you don't need it anymore because you have learned from it. You are ready to grow from it, and that needs to be released. Okay, and then we have weight of the world, boundary, let it go, it's not yours to carry. So all saying the same thing, right? Just like we were saying with the Emperor card, that's perfect. We have our boundaries. And also, this is, to me, is talking about other people's stuff too. So when other people have their issues and we take that on, especially with empaths and highly sensitive people, really easy to absorb all of that. We think we're helping, but in reality, we can't take that on, right? And save that other person from their lessons that they have to have, right? That they're supposed to be growing from. So we just need to remember, it's not ours. It's not ours. Let it go, release it, give it back to Mama Earth, let it be recycled with love, and be done with that. And then to have those boundaries, because that can be a lesson. That's what I'm hearing too, is that can be a lesson that some of us learn also, is to have those boundaries in place. Because now that you have learned your lesson about taking other people's things on, let that be a boundary now that you're not going to be doing that anymore, right? Okay, and then we have Star Brothers. Anything that says star, anything, I'm like, woo, yes, magic. Okay. So this is Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. Yes, I'm loving this. So now you're being able to surrender with the more feminine energy, and you're being protected, and you can trust. So you're also receiving some safety, some security from the masculine energy. So this is a beautiful reading of balance, new perspectives, and really being able to release. I'm here. This is really ringing of being able to release those karmic patterns that have been coming up for probably a lot of us, right? So this is a beautiful time for you to be able to do that. And with this card too, it's really about, this is being able to allow you to fully open your heart, to know that you have that safety net. You can be assured that you're going to be protected right now. So you're not going to have to fear opening your heart. Not saying there's not going to be challenges that come with that, but whatever comes up, you're going to be able to handle, because you're going to have that inner strength to guide you through that. All right. So let's go ahead and just get one last card and see, what self-care can we give ourselves? To journal, which is perfect. So I love to journal. You can do it on the computer. You can write it by hand. You can record it with your voice. You can do it however you want to do it, because you're being your authentic self. You need to do what you need to do. This is your time to shine. So you could do it any way you want, but I really think that if you are so inclined to allow yourself to just write. I don't know what it is, but whenever I journal, if I do it by hand, it feels satisfying. To me, it feels like, I don't know, like I really, like something's really happening, like some kind of magic is happening, and that can happen in any way you do it. So, but if you don't do a lot of journaling by hand, or you haven't tried it before because you're more on the computer, give it a shot. See what you think. And then journaling is a great way to ask yourself some questions. If you're having trouble finding that joy in your heart and getting it to open up, there's so many questions you can ask, right? Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel like I can't open myself up? Make it a sacred kind of thing for you. Get out some crystals if you like it, light a candle, get some incense, put on some beautiful music, do maybe a meditation beforehand to get yourself in touch with your inner self, or to open your heart space so you can ask some questions, right? That's really going to help you to realize what questions that you should be asking yourself so that you know where you want to begin. All right. And so you can ask about boundaries. Where are your boundaries loose? How can you have stronger boundaries? What do I feel like I need to surrender? What karmic patterns do I feel like are coming up? Like once you start really getting into asking yourself some questions and opening up your heart, it's amazing some of the questions that just start popping up automatically that you want to start answering. And you could hopefully even get down to some really nitty gritty and see like what even the karmic patterns are. What old belief systems do you have, right? And you should be able, and I think that you would be very successful in doing that. So I think that is going to wrap it up for us. I wish you all a beautiful new moon. I hope you have a beautiful ceremony planned for yourself that you get to enjoy. And if you don't have anything planned, I mean, that's okay. But if you do want to plan something, there's lots of ideas and stuff. I just go on YouTube and look up, and I can usually find all kinds of things. So I hope you all have a beautiful new moon. I hope that you all get that joyful feeling in your heart and that you are able to really create and manifest some beautiful, beautiful desires for yourself. All right. So I'm going to give you a big fat hug filled with loving and healing energy. And I'll see you guys again probably on Wednesday, I would believe. So we will see you then. Have a great one. Bye for now.